Now, the West African Examination Council says it overwhelmed by the widespread examination irregularities it has recorded at the various examination centers in the ongoing West African Senior School Certificate examination. Now, the National Intelligence Bureau and the police have caught hundreds of students with foreign materials, impersonators and invigilators aiding an exam malpractice and cartel trading questions for various sums of money. Now, the council says the malpractices are so much it is currently tallying and categorizing them in order to come up with the number of students, teachers, and supervisors involved. John Kapi is head of public affairs at WAEC.
Each day we have fresh reports coming in, and all these infractions that we've mentioned, virtually every day you find one or two. There's a team that is putting this together. And so if, for example, today we come and tell you we found, let's say, 500, and then somebody goes to write that for WASSCE 2023 we found 500 phones, they come back to us. We cannot justify that, all right? So as and when the reports come, we put them out there. But for now, we are compiling, and when we get the figure, but as I said earlier, we'll be able to give you something by close of this, probably next week, not today. But we would hand over these names and then particulars to the Ghana Education Service for the appropriate sanctions to be meted out. We also have the right to prosecute them. Those who are reported to the police are going to be prosecuted. Our rules, if we're able to, like I said earlier, when a candidate is found, infringing on any of our rules, what we do is take a statement. Now, per that statement, if we're able to confirm that indeed so and so brought a mobile phone to the examination hall, the entire results of that candidate are cancelled. Okay, so now we don't have any right to stop anybody from writing. Granted that the phone was just lying down, so when he picked it up and is able to prove that in court, then what happens? So I guess you heard what the legal officer said. We need to be able to prove all these cases before we take any disciplinary action against the people. Going to update you on the happenings on the ground. We are also there, as I said, our doors are wide open. We are willing to engage with individuals, groups who want to discuss any issue that have to do with the examinations. If you have any questions, we'll answer them anytime. And as and when the need arises, we shall invite you again and then brief you on what is happening with the examinations 2023.
My colleague Fred Kwatin joins me via Zoom with details of the irregularities recorded by WAEC. So, Fred, what did John Kapi actually talk about?
Okay, Carlos, so there was the issue of leakage of examination papers. The council admitted that such reports have come to their attention. So they have activated their investigative machinery to probe those alleged leakages. So there's a collaboration between the WAEC, the Ghana Police Service, and the National Intelligence Bureau to investigate those issues. Now, the second aspect has to do with allegation that WAEC officials are deliberately intimidating the candidates at some centers. But the accusation was strongly debunked by WAEC. They are saying that they've strictly advised its officials on what to do in a case of suspected malpractice, and that does not include intimidation. He therefore questioned how a single person can intimidate over 100 students at an examination center. So these are some of the issues that were raised with respect to this 2023 WASSCE examination.
So has there been any arrests so far?
Okay, the council confirmed that they've been able to make some arrests. So the offenses include bribery. Some attempted to bribe officials of WAEC so that they can have their way. There was an issue of impersonation in a certain school where a national service personnel wanted to write a government paper for one of the candidates. Some also sent foreign materials into the examination hall. Such materials included mobile phones, textbooks, and notebooks. Some also, there were issues of syndicate cheating. They wanted to collude in the examination hall, but they couldn't do it because of the strict nature of the invigilation. So according to WAEC, the justification, they couldn't put a number to the number of people they've arrested so far because they said examination is still ongoing and they receive reports on daily basis, as you've indicated. So there's a team tallying and categorizing those reports so that at the end of the day, they will come up with those numbers. So we will know the number of people, the number of teachers, the number of invigilators who were complicit in those examination malpractices. So basically, that's what they were able to put out with respect to the alleged arrest or the investigations currently ongoing with the malpractices.
All right. Thank you so much. Fred Kwatin is my colleague in the Joy Newsroom. Now, Divine Pe has also joined us via phone. He is the Senior Program Officer at the Africa Education Watch. You're welcome to join News Prime here, Divine. So let's look at it from this angle. Looking at this issue over time, smuggling of electronic gadgets into examination halls, leakages of papers and impersonation of scripts, it remains a major challenge in this country. Why haven't we been able to tackle this particular problem effectively as a nation?
All right, Carlos, thanks for having me and good evening to your viewers. Yes, it has been an issue over the years, and I must first of all commend WAEC for some of the reforms that we are seeing that to some extent are addressing, especially when it comes to the point of leakages. When we are monitoring WASSCE or even BC, we look at the monitoring from two angles: issues of leakages and issues of malpractices that happen at the exam centers. And after our monitoring of last year, we've noticed that because the NID stroke, the BNI, their presence in the security process of the examination, the entire examination value chain, has also helped address issues of leakages, and then also the introduction of, how do we call it, serialization of question papers has also helped to some extent address the point of leakages. Because when patients are serialized accordingly, people struggle to get more of the questions to sell. So the demand becomes so low. And because the demand for the papers becomes so low, we are now seeing a surge in the institutionalized or exam-related irregularities. And we pointed this out in our research last year that because the leakages are now low, we are now seeing collusion from school authorities, teachers to help candidates during the examination time. So what we now to do now is to shift also attention to what happens at the examination center. And it's very important for WAEC to get to the point of ensuring that the people that demand the process are 100% their staff, especially the external supervisors.
All right.
If you look at the number of supervisors, about 80% of them are GES staff. And if you are deploying GES staff to man the process to become external supervisors, they have interest in the entire process. If the students pass, it is to their advantage. And you've noticed that exam centers that WAEC's own appointed supervisors are, we see limited issues of examination irregularities in the centers. But areas that we see GES staff manning the process of being external supervisors, the irregularities are high. So once GES staff have interest in the process, you can't depend on them, because obviously this conflict of interest will be there.
Okay.
We need to get to that point of having WAEC appoint all the external supervisors, not using GES staff. I'm sure to some extent this will also address the exam center irregularities.
No, okay. So what impact is this examination irregularities actually having on the credibility of the result that come out from the schools?
You know, as a high-stakes examination has several functions, like selection function, placement function, certification, and then also policy decisions are made based on the outcome. So whether students are learning or not, we can use the results to tell. So when the process is reading with high irregularities, then it tells you that the decisions that will be made on the results will be faulty. For example, if you want to take a placement, or as an example, if we are placing a student who has fitted his way through the examination hall and has several A's, and you have placed that child in a program, say, okay, that child has A's, so let the child go and do science, etc. You can just imagine the outcome.
Okay.
And then also, we are seeing the emergence of some of these tertiary institutions, the interest in having entrance examination for WASSCE graduates, because they are fit in the results actually at the beginning of. So they are also trying to introduce this sort of entrance examination. We don't need to get to that point, because at the end of the day, the decisions that we take on the WASSCE is so much important.
All right. Divine, thank you so much. Unfortunately, this is all time will allow us. We are so grateful you could join us here with those great thoughts of yours. Now, moving on.